Hello, Risen King family. As we've ended the school year and as we're approaching the end of our fiscal year as a church family on June 30th, I wanted to give you an update on how we're doing and celebrate so much of the great stuff that's happened over this past year. And as I think back over what's happened this ministry year since last July 1st, there is so much to be grateful for, and I am so excited. I think back to September and having our baptisms at the lake, and how awesome that was to be out there eating good food, celebrating together, and most importantly, baptizing 26 people who were saying, I want to follow Jesus. And to hear the stories of how God had been at work in their lives was just amazing. And then October, we did our Fall Fun Fest. What a great time that was to welcome I don't know how many hundreds of people onto our campus, to take a night that for many is a dark night, a Halloween, and make it a night of fun and joy and laughter and hospitality. And then in December to do our Christmas Eve services here. You know, it felt a little different not to be doing them at the Cascade after so many years there, but I loved having our Christmas Eve services here in our worship center, getting to welcome people to our home and to do the candles, and just was a great time, and I'm looking forward to that being a renewed Risen King tradition. And then coming into this calendar year, 2018, and starting off with the feast emphasis, it was so encouraging to hear how God was at work in so many people's lives, to hear the testimonies of people saying they'd never read the Bible more consistently than they did as a result of the feast, to hear people saying they'd never understood the Bible as well as they did after that time of emphasis, to hear couples saying that it's the first time they'd read the Bible together since they'd been married. Just so much good stuff that happened. And it was really fun to start the year doing something together as a church family. And then as we've turned the corner into the spring, it's been so amazing to celebrate the completion of our new ministry center. Thanks to the generosity of people in the church, including everyone who gave during the special offering last fall, thanks to the hard work of a lot of volunteers, donated services by contractors, and just so much generosity from so many people, we are in that new building debt-free. Can you believe it? I mean, that is a miracle of God. I'm so excited to celebrate that and officially dedicate the new building on June 24th, and we'll make that a part of our Sunday services, and it's going to be a great time. As we've come into the spring, and really since last December, our Sunday morning attendance has been increasing, and how cool it is to see more people here being a part of our church now than was the case a year ago. You know, when we ask people, what brought you to Risen King? How'd you hear about the church? The number one response, over half the people who respond tell us that they heard about Risen King from a friend or family member. And so for those of you who have been inviting folks to come, thank you. It's working. Keep it up. That is by far the most effective way to get people to Risen King is through personal invitation. So good job and awesome to see. Of course, as I look back on this year, I'm so grateful for the many salvations and the 36 baptisms that we've celebrated. God is on the move at Risen King, and he's moving through us. And it's so exciting to see that. And I know that the stories aren't done yet. I know that even as we go through the rest of June, these last few weeks, there's going to be more testimonies to add to that list as our high schoolers do their houseboat camp, which is happening this weekend, as we have Summer Splash in a couple weeks, as we have junior high camp before the end of the month. Lots more stories to tell, a lot more to be grateful for as we reflect on this year. There really is a lot to be grateful for as we think about how God has been at work. That's true when it comes to our church finances as well. Do you know that so far this year, from July 1st through May 31st, that we have received nearly $860,000 in donations to our ministry fund? That represents a lot of faithful, generous giving by a lot of people. I just want to say, if you've been one of those who's given, thank you so much. All those testimonies, all those celebrations that I just shared, that can't happen without people giving to the mission that God has given us. So thank you. It's also wonderful to be able to celebrate that we've done a great job in containing our spending this year, that our expenses through the first 11 months of our fiscal year are $71,500 less than we had budgeted. Now, if we had spent that money, it would have been spent on really good and necessary stuff, but it's been amazing to see how our staff and ministry leaders have responded to the challenge to spend carefully and be frugal. And to see that kind of savings over what we had planned to spend is really amazing. So there's a lot to celebrate, even when it comes to money, but there's also a challenge that we're facing as the end of the fiscal year approaches. As wonderful as all that is to celebrate, we still need some better than expected provision to be able to finish this year well. While it's true that we've had some great giving this year and that $860,000 is a lot of money, it's about $66,000 less than we had received last year through the end of May. So the giving is less, and that's just a hard reality to adjust to. And even though we've done a great job spending less than we'd planned to spend, we're still on track to end this fiscal year with our expenses more than income, maybe by as much as $30,000 more than our income. Now, we do have an operating reserve that can cover that, but that means that we start our next fiscal year with a much tighter cash flow, and it creates a whole nother set of problems. So, folks, I'm not telling you this from a sense of panic. I don't want to catastrophize. We never need to respond with fear or anxiety, but this is serious, it's significant, and I just wanted to share it with you. And I'm urging you to take it seriously as well. Part of what taking it seriously would mean would be to pray about it. And I am asking you to pray for our church finances every day between now and the end of June, and just pray that God would provide so that we would finish this month with our expenses at least equal to our income, if not finishing the year in the black. I also want to invite you, if you're a part of the Risen King family and you haven't yet started giving financially, this is a great time. It's a great investment. This is a really strategic time to begin to give. We need it so that we can keep moving forward as a church family. So I encourage you to do that. I want to say thank you to the folks who have started giving recently and have gotten on board. It really makes a difference. Thank you. And I know that many people who are already giving to the church, you're probably giving at your capacity. I just want to say thank you. Pray for the church. It could be that there's some folks that you have the capacity to give more. And if God is tugging your heart in that direction, again, this is a strategic time for an extra gift. It would be wonderful to have some extra gifts to help us finish this fiscal year well. So I encourage you to do that if you have the means and if God leads, to make an extra gift. So pray, get on board with giving, give more if you're able. And I really believe that we can look back and add faithful provision to the list of things we're thanking God for as we reflect on what this last year has been about at Risen King. If you have any questions about anything in this video, including our finances, you can always reach out to me. My email is tim@risenking.org. You can talk to one of our staff or our governing board members, and we can get you the information that you're looking for and answer questions you might have. Thanks for taking the time to view this video, and we'll see you on Sunday. God bless.